If there really is going to be a Stargate reboot, what are the chances that one of our favourite characters, General O'Neil, played by Richard Dean Anderson, could actually make a return? This is SciTrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. I've done a few Stargate videos recently, and one of the things I get constantly is I get asked, will Richard Dean Anderson reprise his role as General O'Neil? Or I get the comment, it's not Stargate without Richard Dean Anderson, so forget about it. Well, let's get stuck into this. Could RDA actually make a return? So as we all know, in 2005, Richard Dean Anderson did take a step back from Stargate. He carried on in reprising role and appeared several times throughout the last two series of the show, but really was a bit character. He did come back for Stargate Continuum and really did play a starring role in that, and my god, I loved it. But he really decided in 2005, like I say, to become much more of a hands-on dad. He wanted to be there for his daughter, and really Stargate took a bit of a back seat. Now, I gotta say, I respect the decision he made, even though, God, I missed General O'Neil. With all the rumours that Stargate is going to return on Amazon, what are the chances he could reprise the role? Well, Brad Wright's been doing several podcasts on this companion site that he's on. He has done this read-through of this new script generated by an AI. And it's got to be said, even though Amanda Tapping, Daniel Jackson, and others appeared and did a read-through of that script, one person, well, actually two people, were really missing. Teal'c wasn't involved, and General O'Neil. But Richard Dean Anderson did do a little cheeky 1-minute intro video in only the way he can, but he really didn't get involved. However, he has announced that he is going to be appearing on the podcast with Brad Wright soon. What will he be talking about, you wonder? But I'm going to get to that in a minute because I think his appearance on this podcast is for a reason. But let's get back to it. The chances of him returning. We've got to remember, his daughter now is an adult. So his reason for stepping away from Stargate has now grown up. But he's 70 years old. Now, we do have to remember that a man in his 70s is not as spry as he used to be. Even though it doesn't seem to stop people becoming president, it really is a ripe old age. He's not going to be the General O'Neil we know and love. But does that mean he couldn't appear in Stargate at all? No, of course not. I should say I have been a little bit concerned about his health once or twice over the last 4 or 5 years. He does seem to gain weight and lose weight quite dramatically. He did get a little bit of a chunky monkey. Sorry, Rich, I'm sorry, but you did. In recent times, over the last 12 months or so, he's lost a lot of that weight. Possibly anticipation of a promised return for Stargate. He does actually, though, have a lot of charity work that he's involved in. Even though he hasn't appeared in any movies or TV shows for the last few years, he does keep really, really busy. He does a lot of work with the Waterkeeper Alliance, which is a charity really working hard to eliminate pollution in water around the world. He's also involved in several other environmental, to be honest, too many to mention, environmental charities. And if you really do love Stargate and Richard Dean Anderson, I implore you to go and have a look at some of these charities and maybe give a little bit of your hard-earned money. I think the least we could do as Stargate fans is maybe support that. And to be honest, one of my favourite charities, Make-A-Wish Foundation, that I actually do give regular donations to, he is really involved in and has actually received awards from the charity for his good work. It's also got to be said that he doesn't actually need the money. If financial, that there is no financial need when it comes to Richard Dean Anderson. He was executive producer of Stargate, don't forget. He appeared in the show for 10 years. MacGyver was a very popular TV show before that, and actually he was an actor from pretty much late adulthood. His estimated worth is over $30 million. And a man, that's a decent nest egg for going into retirement. But I would say, mentioning the R word, he's asked quite a lot in interviews, have you retired from acting? And he always says, no, not really. I'm just being a dad for a bit. He does actually sound a lot of the time in interviews like he would love to come back. And actually, I think a reboot of Stargate would be the perfect opportunity. But let's be honest, that's not going to be as a major character. not a week in, week out character anyway. But maybe as a recurring character, as a 4-star general, maybe to support and work with General Carter that Brad Wright has already hinted at. So if Amanda Tapping does come back and is the leader of a new project, then I actually think that General O'Neil could appear occasionally in those moments of crisis to maybe be a shoulder and maybe to give that wise advice. To be honest, I think that would be perfect for Richard Dean Anderson. We'd get him coming in every so often with his wisecracks and just the aura that is General O'Neil. But realistically, that's the most we're going to get. So I mentioned earlier Richard Dean Anderson appearing on the podcast for Companion. Why do I think he's doing that? Well, I think, as I said in a previous video, that Brad Wright is really trying to put some pressure on Amazon. I think he's got in mind a project for Stargate, but now Amazon is sort of pushing its way into MGM and talking about wanting the project to be a lot bigger. I think he maybe feels that the project is slipping away from him, and he needs to get the fans on side so that he can regain at least an element of control on the new show when it is greenlit. In that case, who better to get on side and who better to get on the podcast than Richard Dean Anderson? So it's going to be really interesting to listen to this podcast when it is released, because I think it will really give us an insight on what Brad Wright is thinking. And if this is a call to arms to the fans, it will be done subtly. But if it is, I think this interview will be very telling, because I think it's going to give us a massive insight into what is planned and what is coming for the sleeping giant of sci-fi, our favourite show, Stargate. So it's a simple question. Will Richard Dean Anderson return to Stargate? I think it's possible. But I will honestly say I don't think it's likely. And if he does appear, I think it'll be in quite small parts. I honestly think it'll be few and far between appearances. But that relationship between Carter and O'Neil is going to be there still. She, in a moment of crisis, would turn to perhaps a 4-star General O'Neil. And in those situations, I could see that it would be very easy to write in several cameos. And let's be honest, he's going to want to, because I honestly believe he loves the show just as much as we do. So if you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Really helps us out. You can join us on Facebook, and you can join us on Discord to talk to all like-minded sidetrackers, and links are in the description. Also, you can now join the channel, and you can get these videos 24 hours before everybody else, if you really need it that badly. Small contribution to the channel as well really helps me produce more content and hopefully go to that next level. It also keeps my wife off my back, because if I'm making money on my silly little hobby, she won't moan at me quite so much. In the meantime, stay safe. I'll be back really soon, and thank you for watching.